Mercedes has heavily revised its E-Class saloon and estate with some styling tweaks and more technology than ever. And here are the carwow top 10 things you need to know. The new E-Class gets a slinky body just like the old car, but look closer and you'll spot some new LED headlights, redesigned alloy wheels and a set of wider brake lights. The E-Class's grille has also gone under the knife. Now it curves up as standard and sweeps down in sportier AMG line cars, so it looks a bit grumpier and more aggressive. AMG line versions also get extra bulges in the bonnet that Mercedes calls the power domes. Sounds a bit like a Bond villain's lair to me. Anyway, besides that, it's all very subtle. But what do you think of the looks? Click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen to vote which you like the best. The new E-Class, the BMW 5 Series, the Audi A6 or the Lexus ES. Mercedes designers probably didn't put in much overtime designing the E-Class's interior. It looks almost exactly the same as the old cars, although you do get some new steering wheels with different designs depending on which model you go for. They all get touch-sensitive buttons, but my favourite are the AMG line ones with super thin spokes and a flat bottom. You can also customise your E-Class's cabin with new trim pieces in a range of colours, although they're mostly just shades of grey and brown. The old E-Class could adjust the temperature, change the mood lighting and spray you with some Mercedes own branded perfume to keep you energised. The new E-Class does all of those things, but it kicks things up a notch with some fancy new seats. These make constant adjustments to stop you sitting in one position for too long and getting backache on longer journeys. There's also a power nap function that helps you drift off if you need to take a break. Obviously, that's when you're pulled over at the side of the road or at a service station. Safety first, guys. Anyway, the seats can massage you back into life when you need to wake up and carry on with your journey. You can even adjust the shape of the seats by drawing on the touchscreen. How cool is that? The new Mercedes E-Class comes with two 10-inch displays, but you can upgrade these to massive 12-inch screens instead. You could get all this in the old E-Class, but the new car has them joined underneath one piece of glass, rather than having black plastic between them like in the old car. Also, Mercedes has gotten rid of the old rotary dial controller, so now you get a touchscreen and a touchpad on the center console instead, just like in the new GLE. You also get the latest Mercedes Infotainment system with built-in "Hey Mercedes" voice assistant, which lets you adjust the cabin temperature or program things like the satellite navigation while you're driving. Though it can get on your nerves ever so slightly by chiming in whenever you say Mercedes, even when you don't want its services. Oh man, Mercedes, they were lying.
Can you say that again, please?
I said you were lying.
So this is the sound on the
Mercedes.
Yeah.
How may I help you?
Cancel. Hopefully this Mercedes can do a... You can get the new Mercedes E-Class with a bunch of petrol, diesel and plug-in hybrid engine options. But you can also get a pair of all-new mild hybrids as well. The cheapest is the 292 horsepower 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine with a 48-volt mild hybrid system. There's also a beefier 3-litre straight-six diesel engine that pumps out 387 horsepower. Both come with a 20 horsepower electric motor that gives them a bit of extra shove when you hit the accelerator. And the motors mean they can shut off their engines completely and coast at up to 100 miles an hour when you're cruising to help save fuel. The old Mercedes E-Class was one of the most comfortable saloons to travel in, and this new one shouldn't be any different, because Mercedes hasn't messed with the car suspension at all. So the new model should glide over bumps in town and stay nice and steady at motorway speeds, and it will be even better with the optional air suspension. However, the car's cruise control system has been upgraded. It can accelerate, brake and steer for you on motorways and in stop-start traffic, and it uses satellite navigation data to automatically slow down before roundabouts, junctions and traffic jams. It's so clever it can even clear space for emergency vehicles by pulling slightly to one side in heavy traffic. It's as though the engineers have thought of everything. Speaking of which, the new E-Class comes with loads of safety kit, and some of it even gets to work before you start the car. As well as a surround view camera system, there's a clever blind spot monitoring feature that will detect pedestrians and cyclists and warn you not to open your door into them. You also get auto emergency braking as standard, which will detect parked cars and pedestrians who walk out in front of you. And there are more airbags than you can shake a carwow stick of truth at. There's also Mercedes' Urban Guard system. You can think of it as a personal security guard that will set off alarms and message you using the Mercedes Me app if someone bumps into your car in a car park or tries to steal it. The Mercedes E-Class Estate and All-Terrain have been tweaked too. These cars get the same styling upgrades as the standard E-Class, so there are some rounder headlights, wider brake lights, new alloy wheels and different grilles. And as before, All-Terrain versions get raised suspension, black wheel arches and beefier bumpers with protective cladding. Inside, it's all business as usual, as changes are the same as the saloon. Fancy a bit of performance? Well, the AMG-tuned E53 also gets a few upgrades. You'll spot the E63 style grille straight away, and the diffuser and spoiler are also new. It gets the same 3-litre straight-six mild hybrid engine as in the old car, so it makes the same 435 horsepower and 520 Nm of torque. If you want, you can pay extra for the AMG Dynamic Plus pack, which adds a race and drift driving mode. Drifting? In a hybrid? Have they gone mad? This upgrade also gets you some red brake calipers and a pair of fancy driving mode buttons on the steering wheel, just like in the full-fat AMG models. Finally, we need to talk about the price. The new Mercedes E-Class's extra tech means it'll cost you a bit more than the old car. Now, Mercedes hasn't said exactly how much it'll be, but I reckon saloons will start from around £40,000. Estates will kick off from around £45,000, while all-terrains from about £65,000. And if you fancy a fast E53, then you'll need to put aside close to £70,000.